Oyeyemi is my name. The Osun State Police Command has attributed the peaceful nature of the recently concluded governorship election in Osun State to the unity among all security agencies, as well as the cooperation of members of the public. The command, who stated this in a post-election interview with OSBC News, assured that future elections will record more success. Our reporter, Oluchi Amuda, has the details.
16 governorship election in Osun State, members of the public, most especially the eligible voters, were apprehensive about what the security situation would look like. Their fears and concerns were hinged on past election experiences in Nigeria, where some polling units usually tend to battleground, and in some cases, ballot boxes are snatched by thugs employed by politicians. Some parents also prevent their wards who are of voting age from exercising their franchise due to fears of election violence. However, the reverse seemed to be the case in the recently concluded governorship election in the state. The police had in various fora with other sister agencies reaffirmed of its readiness to maintaining law and order before, during, and after the election.
Adequate security arrangements have been made for the 3 senatorial districts. Adequate deployment has been made for the 332 wards. Adequate deployment has equally been made for 3,763 polling units. In the course of our deployment, we have been able to deploy to the land. We have equally been able to deploy air deployment, where we have mission-specific air surveillance. We have a number of helicopters here for that purpose. We also discovered that Osun State has littoral community, coastal community, somewhere at Ashejire, that is the northern part of Osun State. Though it's a small dam, felt strongly that there is the need for us to equally police the waterways. And for that reason, we have equally made deployment of the police marine on the waterways.
Some actually took the assurance and reassurances with a pinch of salt. The peaceful nature of the election was a surprise to many who said it is too good to be true. While speaking with OSBC News on the preview of the security situation during the election, the police public relations officer DSP Yemisi Opalola has attributed to the success of the election to the synergy and unity among all security agencies in the state, as well as the cooperation of members of the public.
We thank God it is truly peaceful, at least when you are looking at the way elections used to go. We say it's as a result of God intervention. That's number one thing. Apart from that, it's because of the unity, synergy between the security agencies. Because when you work together, you are bound to make success. Because this synergy has started when since CP Olawale Olokode came. He called all of them together, and since then we have been having meetings together. And even when this, it's on that template that other things are being built.
She assured members of the public that subsequent elections would witness more successes in the country.
We are, we learn more from experience. We have seen something, the crime of like 10 years ago is not the same as the crime. It's dimensional. It's not the same thing as what we are experiencing now. And from what is happening, that is when you learn. You learn more from your experience. Like what we experience in this election now has taught us some other lessons. Other criminal activities that we are able to witness, we will have improved on that. From this experience, we will have planned more, against the next election.
Analysts believe that a safe and peaceful polling unit would eliminate voter apathy and increase electorate confidence in the electoral process. Oluchi Amuda, OSBC News.
Osun State Governor-elect Senator Ademola Adeleke has directed his supporters and well-wishers to celebrate his electoral victory peacefully or risk being disowned as members of his political family. In a statement by spokesperson Mr. Rashid Olawale, Senator Adeleke condemned reported violent conduct of some youths celebrating his victory, disassociating himself and his political organization from such negative activities. He described the development as an unacceptable conduct, warning those involved in such behavior to stop forthwith. He stressed that the governor-elect did not authorize such demonstrations, adding that those involved are definitely not part of the organization. Speaker, State House of Assembly, Honorable Timothy Oweye, says his passion and service towards the well-being of residents and dwellers of Ilesha and its environ remains undeterred no matter what. Honorable Oweye stated this while reacting to the pocket of fabricated and lifeless news flying around the social media pages by rumor mongers. The Speaker specifically recalled his fruitful efforts towards the restoration of power supply to some areas in Ilesha metropolis through the procurement, distribution, and installation of transformers to areas such as Odiolowo, Okeanu, Bolorunduro, Ileri Ijesha, Ogbese, and Ilu Olomo, among others. He reminded the public that as a grassroots politician who had over time placed premium on the comfort and well-being of the people, particularly inhabitants of rural communities, he was not contemplating, neither thinking of removing the already distributed transformers. The Speaker, however, urged the general public to turn deaf ears to naysayers and disregard such frivolous development, noting that the purported news is a figment of imagination. He therefore reiterated his determination and tenacity to always harness every means of making life more better for all and sundry, with an assurance of serving them like never before, adding that such development will not halt the heart of progress and development he has for all and sundry. Meanwhile, the Federal Ministry of Education says it is taking measures to ensure the nation's schools are safe and conducive for learning and other activities. The ministry's permanent secretary, Andrew Adejo, disclosed that it is trying to adopt some specific safety measures that include abolishing boarding schools in rural areas for the insecurity. Adejo gave the hint in his address at the opening of the 81st plenary meeting of the Joint Consultative Committee on Education held in Yola, Adamawa State. Adejo urged the Council to take bold actions that include the implementation and domestication of the Safe School Declaration initiatives and conduct of a vulnerability survey on schools by the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps to enable it to devise strategies that would secure and strengthen the safety of schools. He said the government is prepared to take the recommendations to the National Council on Education. However, there are some decisions that will be reached by the states for reduction in attacks. The Law Enforcement Agency has commenced its case of hard drug trafficking charges against the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, Abba Kyari, before Justice Emeka Nwite of a federal high court in Abuja. The agency brought a commander of narcotics, Patricia Afolabi, to testify as its first witness. The witness told the court that her job schedule includes receiving and conducting forensic analysis on drug exhibits. The court admitted all the exhibits in evidence without objections from the defendants. And on to sports. The 9-woman Super Falcons' quest to land a 10th Women's African Cup of Nations title came to a painful end on Monday after the 9-time winners suffered an excruciating 5-4 penalties defeat to the Atlas Lionesses at the Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium, packed with 42,500 fans in Rabat, Morocco. The Falcons were reduced to 9 women after Halimatu Ayinde and Rashidat Ajibade were both sent off in the second half following what the referee saw as clumsy tackle. The win was the first ever for the Lionesses against the defending champions after previously losing 8-0 at the 1998 edition of the WAFCON in Kaduna and 6-0 at the 2000 edition in South Africa to their foes. A first own goal from Yasmin Mrabet gave the Falcons the lead in the 62nd minute, but parity was restored when Sana Sudi fired in a shot from close range after the Falcons' defense failed to clear their lines, with Chiamaka Nadozie in goal for the Falcons, spilling a cross from the right flank. Ifeoma Onumonu then sent her efforts straight at goalkeeper Khadija Erimik in the ensuing penalty shootout, the only play to miss her kick, to hand the hosts their biggest victory in women football. Morocco will now play South Africa, who edged Zambia in the other last four clash in the final. And from the foreign scene, the UK is set to see its hottest day on record, with temperatures expected to reach up to 42 degrees Celsius today. A high of 38.1 degrees Celsius was reached in Suffolk, just short of the UK record of 38.7 degrees Celsius set in 2019. Wales recorded its hottest day on record with 37.1 degrees Celsius. The Meteorological Office has issued a red extreme heat warning covering much of central, northern, and southeast England. Provisional figures showed the UK experienced the warmest night on record from yesterday. Temperatures did not fall below 25 degrees Celsius in places, exceeding the previous highest daily minimum record of 23.9 degrees Celsius recorded in Brighton. Scotland could see its highest day on record, surpassing the previous 32.9 degrees Celsius. That ends the midday news. Join us at 3 for the state news. Good morning.
Truer words were never spoken. The less you associate with some people, the more your life will improve. Anytime you tolerate mediocrity in others, it increases your mediocrity. An important attribute in successful people is their impatience with negative thinking and negative acting people. As you grow, your associates will change. Some of your friends will not want you to go on. They will want you to stay where they are. Friends that don't help you climb will want you to crawl. Your friends will stretch your vision or choke your dream. Those that don't increase you will eventually decrease you. Consider this. Never receive counsel from unproductive people. Never discuss your problems with someone incapable of contributing to the solution, because those who never succeed themselves are always first to tell you how. Not everyone has a right to speak into your life. You are certain to get the worst of the bargain when you exchange ideas with the wrong person. Don't follow anyone who's not going anywhere. With some people, you spend an evening. With others, you invest it. Be careful where you stop to inquire for directions along the road of life. Wise is the person who fortifies his life with the right friendships. If you run with wolves, you will learn how to howl. But if you associate with eagles, you will learn how to soar to great heights. A mirror reflects a man's face, but what he is really like is shown by the kind of friends he chooses. The simple but true fact of life is that you become like those with whom you closely associate.
Ẹ káàsán o, ìròyìn ọjọ́ kan rí. Iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun ti ní ìṣọ̀kan àti àjọṣepọ̀ tó gúnmọ́ tó wà láàrin àwọn ikọ̀ elétò ààbò pẹ̀lú ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ àwọn aráàlú ló mú kóhun gbogbo túbàtúṣẹ́ lásìkò ìdìbò gómìnà tó wáyé nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun. Nígbà tí iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá ń ṣàgbéyẹ̀wò bí ìdìbò náà ṣe wáyé tó sì fi dá ikọ̀ ìròyìn iléeṣẹ́ OSBC lójú pé àṣeyọrí yóò túbọ̀ máa bá ìdìbò tí yóò wáyé lọ́jọ́ iwájú lówòye ọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Ọlùchí àmùdámúròyìnbọ̀ àbọ̀rí látẹnu Mojibọ́lá Káyọ̀dé Ọ̀kẹ́.
Ṣáájú ètò ìdìbò gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun tó wáyé lópin ọ̀sẹ̀ tó kọjá yìí lọ́pọ̀ aráàlú ti ń káyà sókè ní pàtàkì jùlọ àwọn tó ti tó ìbò dì. Èyí kò sẹ́yìn bójú ọjọ́ ṣe máa ń rí lẹ́ka ètò ààbò lásìkò ìdìbò. Àwọn rògbòdìyàn tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ sẹ́yìn lásìkò àwọn ìdìbò tó wáyé lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí pẹ̀lú báwọn tọ́ọ̀gì olóṣèlú ṣe máa ń jí àpótí ìbò gbé ló mú kẹ́rù máa bọ ọ̀pọ̀ olùdìbò. Púpọ̀ àwọn òbí ni kì í jẹ́ káwọn ọmọ wọn jáde dìbò nítorí ìbẹ̀rùbojo awuyewuye tó máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ láwọn ibùdó ìdìbò àtàwùjọ lápapọ̀. Àmọ́ ṣá ọ̀rọ̀ kò rí bí ọ̀pọ̀ ṣe rò ó lásìkò ìdìbò gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ yìí tó wáyé lópin ọ̀sẹ̀ tó kọjá yìí. Ṣáájú ètò ìdìbò náà iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá ti fìdí ìgbáradì rẹ̀ múlẹ̀ pé ètò ààbò yóò fẹsẹ̀ múlẹ̀ ṣáájú, lásìkò àti lẹ́yìn ìdìbò. Ọ̀pọ̀ ni kò fi gbogbo ara nígbàgbọ́ nínú ohun tí iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá sọ yìí, ṣùgbọ́n sí ìyàlẹ́nu àwọn èèyàn ìpínlẹ̀ yìí wọ́ọ́rọ́wọ́ lètò ìdìbò náà lọ láìsí ogbómi ó tẹ̀mí. Nígbà tó ń bá ìkọ̀ròyìn iléeṣẹ́ yìí sọ̀rọ̀, alukoro iléeṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá ìpínlẹ̀ yìí arábìnrin Yẹmisí Ọ̀pálọ́lá lọ́sẹ̀ àṣeyọrí ètò ìdìbò náà mọ́ ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ láàrin àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ àjọ aláàbò tó fi mọ́ ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ aráàlú.
Tẹ́ bá wo ibi tí DIG wa ń lọ káàkiri láti pé wọ́n lọ ṣàbẹ̀wò ibi tí wọ́n ti ń dìbò káàkiri, ẹ rí i pé bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti rí wọn báyìí lẹ́rìí ọ̀gá ti sọ́jà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ wọn báyìí, lẹ́rìí ọ̀gá ti civil defence ààbò ẹni làbò olú ẹ̀rí lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ wọn báyìí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà lẹ́rìí ti àwọn elétò ìjáde àti wọlé àwọn èèyàn sínú immigration ẹ̀rí wọn lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ wọn. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni gbogbo wa lájọ ń kọ̀wọ́ rìn.
Ó mú dá àwọn aráàlú lójú pé ètò ìdìbò tí yóò tún wáyé lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí lọ́jọ́ iwájú yóò kẹsẹ̀ járí.
Wọ́n máa ń kọ́ṣẹ́ sí i níbi ohun téèyàn bá ti ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀ pé àṣìṣe kan wà níbí o èèyàn ó tún fi kọ́ṣẹ́ sí i yóò mọ bó tún ṣe kó ń ṣe ní ṣe pé téèyàn bá rìn tó bá ṣubú tó dẹrù nù á tún mú ẹrù rẹ̀ á tún lè di dáadáa. Ibi ìhó mẹ́rin ló jẹ́ kẹ́rù ìhó dànù, jẹ́ kí n tún so lókun dáadáa sí i. Gbogbo yẹn náà láti rí àti kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ níbẹ̀. Ẹ rí i pé ńgbò bá di ìdìbò tiẹ̀ tó ń bọ̀ ní gbogbogbò ní ọdún tó ń bọ̀, ẹ rí i pé yóò tún dá ajé lé lọ.
Àwọn òǹwòye àwùjọ gbàgbọ́ pé ní báyìí tópin tí ń dé bá rògbòdìyàn lásìkò ìdìbò, àwọn olùdìbò yóò máa nífẹ̀ẹ́ àti jáde ṣojúṣe wọn tí yóò sì jẹ́ káwọn èèyàn nígbẹ́kẹ̀lé kíkún nínú ìlànà ìdìbò orílẹ̀-èdè yìí. Mojibọ́lá Káyọ̀dé Ọ̀kẹ́ fún iléeṣẹ́ OSBC.
Domi àlàáfíà ìpínlẹ̀ yìí rú lásìkò tí wọ́n bá ń dọ́wọ́ ìdùnnú fàṣeyọrí òun. Bí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ òun ò ní kẹ́ni yòówù tọ́wọ́ bá tẹ̀ pé ó yàyọ̀ pọ̀rọ́ láti dá wàhálà lẹ̀ kún ara àwọn alátìlẹ́yìn òun. Nínú àtẹ̀jáde kan tágbọ̀rọ̀sọ rẹ̀ ọ̀gbẹ́ni Rasheed Ọláwálé fi síta, Sínátọ̀ Adeleke bẹnu àtẹ́lu ẹ̀sùn báwọn ọ̀dọ́ kan tí wọ́n ń bá òun yayọ ewé olúborí tó ń já ṣe ń dá wàhálà lẹ̀ káàkiri. Ó ní òun àtẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú òun kò lọ́wọ́ sí ìwà yòówù tó bá lè tako àlàáfíà nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun. Ó wá ṣèkìlọ̀ pé kó ní kálukú ṣèwé àgbéjẹmọ́wọ́ látàsìkò ìlọ. Ó ní gómìnà táwọn aráàlú ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ dìbò yàn nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun kò rán ẹnikẹ́ni níṣẹ́ láti ṣe irú ìwọ́de bẹ́ẹ̀ fún òun, pẹ̀lú àfikún pé àwọn tó ń hurú ìwà pálapàla bẹ́ẹ̀ kì í ṣe alátìlẹyìn òun rárá. Abẹnugan ilé-ìgbìmọ̀ asòfin ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun Rébù Timothy Owóẹ̀yẹ ti ṣàlàyé pé ìfẹ́ tó ní ṣe ìgbáyégbádùn àwọn èèyàn Iléṣà àtàgbègbè rẹ̀ sì wà dìgbìdìgbì nígbà tó ń fèsì sí àwọn àhesọ ọ̀rọ̀ àtìròyìn ẹlẹ́jẹ̀ táwọn èèyàn kan ń tàn kálẹ̀ lórí ìtàkùn ayélujára ló wòye ọ̀rọ̀ yìí. ọ̀nàrẹ́bù owó ẹ̀yẹ mẹ́nuba akitiyan rẹ̀ láti rí dájú pé iná ọba padà sáwọn agbègbè kan nílùú Iléṣà nípa ríra àwọn ẹ̀rọ amúnáwá sáwọn agbègbè bíi Òdì Olówó, Òkè Àánú àti Bọ́lọ̀ndúró, Ìlérí Ìjẹ̀ṣà, Ọ̀gbẹ́sẹ̀, ìlú Ọlọ́mọ àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. ó ní gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹni tọ́rọ̀ ìdẹ̀rùn aráàlú jẹ lógún, òun òfìgbà kankan rí gbà á lérò tàbí dá lábàá láti lọ gbé àwọn ẹ̀rọ amúnáwá tó ń gbé ságbègbè kan kúrò. Abẹnugan ilé asòfin ìpínlẹ̀ yìí wá rọ àwọn aráàlú láti fetí pira bá ìròyìn ẹlẹ́jẹ̀ àtàhesọ táwọn èèyàn kan tàn káàkiri ọ̀hún torí pé ẹ̀sùn tí ò lẹ́sẹ̀ ńlẹ̀ ni. ó tún tẹnu mọ́ pé òun ò ní káàárẹ̀ láti máa pèsè ohun amáyédẹrùn fáwọn aráàlú ju tàtẹ̀yìnwá lọ. iléeṣẹ́ ìjọba àpapọ̀ tó wà fẹ́tò ẹ̀kọ́ ti sọ pé òun ti ń gbégbésẹ̀ láti rí páàbò tó péye wà láwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí tí ètò ẹ̀kọ́ tó péye yóò sì tó dúró re láti jẹ́ kí ẹ̀kọ́ kíkó máa rọrùn wọ̀kúwọ̀kú. akọ̀wé àgbà iléeṣẹ́ náà ọ̀gbẹ́ni Andrew Adejo ló sọ̀rọ̀ ìdí mímọ̀ wípé òun ti ń ṣe àwọn ètò kan tí ó jẹ́ kí ètò ààbò tó péye ó wà láwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ níbi tá a ti rí títí àwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ táwọn olùkọ́ ti máa ń gbé inú ilé ẹ̀kọ́ láwọn ìgbèríko pa fúngbà díẹ̀ náà nítorí ọ̀rọ̀ ìpèníjà. Adejo sọ ọ̀rọ̀ yìí di mímọ̀ nínú àpilẹ̀kọ tó kà níbi ìṣíde ìpàdé ìgbìmọ̀ tó wà fọ́rọ̀ ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kọkànlélọ́gọ́rin irú ẹ̀ tó wáyé ní Yola nípínlẹ̀ Adamawa. ọ̀gbẹ́ni Adejo rọ ìgbìmọ̀ náà láti gbégbésẹ̀ tó yẹ èyí tí yóò ní ìfẹsẹ̀rinlẹ̀ nípa ètò ààbò láwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ ìjọba pẹ̀lú iṣẹ́ ìwádìí tí yóò jẹ́ kí àjọṣepọ̀ tó gúnmọ́ wà láàrin àwọn aláṣẹ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ àtàjọ elétò ààbò ara ẹni láàbò òlu lọ́nà tí ètò ààbò tó fẹsẹ̀rinlẹ̀ yóò fi wà láwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ ọ̀hún. ó ṣàlàyé pé ìjọba àpapọ̀ ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ lórí àbájáde ìgbìmọ̀ náà, ó sì jẹ́ pé lára ìpinnu táwọn ìpínlẹ̀ táwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ náà wà ní pé kópin dé bá ìkọlù sáwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ gbogbo lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà. àjọ tó ń gbógun ti ìlòkulò oògùn olóró ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìgbẹ́jọ́ ẹ̀sùn gbígbé oògùn olóró tó fi kan àtẹ̀lé ọ̀gá ọlọ́pàá tí wọ́n ní kó lọ rọ́ Kúnlé ọ̀gbẹ́ni Abba Kyari níwájú adájọ́ Emeka Nwite tilé-ẹjọ́ ìjọba àpapọ̀ tó kalẹ̀ sílùú Àbújá. àjọ náà ránṣẹ́ pé ọ̀gá tó wà lẹ́ka ọ̀rọ̀ oògùn olóró Patricia Afọlábí pé kó jẹ́ ẹlẹ́rìí àkọ́kọ́. ẹlẹ́rìí náà sọ fún ilé-ẹjọ́ pé lára iléeṣẹ́ òun ní ṣíṣe iṣẹ́ ìwádìí àti títẹ́wọ́gba àbọ̀ ìwádìí táwọn èèyàn bá ṣe nípa ọ̀rọ̀ oògùn olóró wà. lẹ́yìn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ atótónu nílé ẹjọ́ tẹ́wọ́gba gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀rí náà láìsí àtakò kankan látọwọ́ olùjẹ́jọ́. ikọ̀ Super Falcons lórílẹ̀‐èdè yìí bọ́rẹ́lẹ̀ níbi ìdíje tó ń wáyé lórílẹ̀‐èdè Morocco láàrin òun àti ikọ̀ Atlas Lioness láti Morocco lẹ́yìn tí wọ́n pàdánù bọ́ọ̀lù goliwomi gbà sí ọ pẹ̀lú àmì ayò 5-4 ní pápá ìṣeré Prince Moulay Abdallah ní Rabat lórílẹ̀‐èdè Morocco lánàá. àgbábọ́ọ̀lù ikọ̀ náà Alimatu Ayinde àti Rasheedat Ajibade ni adarí ìdíje náà lé kúrò lórí pápá nítorí ìwà àṣemáṣe. ìgbà àkọ́kọ́ rèé tí ikọ̀ Lioness yóò borí ìfẹsẹ̀wọnsẹ̀ rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú Super Falcons lẹ́yìn tó pàdánù pẹ̀lú àmì ayò 8-0 lọ́dún 1998 ní Kaduna àti 6-0 lọ́dún 2000 lórílẹ̀‐èdè South Africa. agbábọ́ọ̀lù Lioness Yasmin Rabet tó gbá àmì ayò wọlé ara rẹ̀ ló fún ikọ̀ Super Falcons láǹfààní àti lékè ní ìṣẹ́jú 62 kí Sana Misodi tó dá àmì ayò míì padà. Ifeoma Onumonu ló gbá goliwomi gbà sí ọ sọ́wọ́ amúlé Khadija Erimichi eléyìí ló mú kí ikọ̀ Atlas Lioness jáwé olúborí láti pegedé lọ sásìkágbá ìdíje náà. Ikọ̀ agbábọ́ọ̀lù Morocco yóò kojú ikọ̀ South Africa níbi àsìkágbá ìdíje WAFCON tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́ ní Morocco. Nílẹ̀ òkèèrè, ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè Russia Vladimir Putin yóò ṣe àbẹ̀wò sí Iran lónìí tí yóò sì jẹ́ àbẹ̀wò kejì rẹ̀ tí yóò ṣe sílẹ̀ òkèèrè látòṣù kejì tó ti ń ṣígun sí ilẹ̀ Ukraine. Ọ̀gbẹ́ni Putin yóò ṣe ìpàdé pẹ̀lú aṣáájú ilẹ̀ Iran Ayatollah Ali Khamenei àti ààrẹ orílẹ̀-èdè Turkey Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Ọ̀rọ̀ tó ní ṣe pẹ̀lú fífi oúnjẹ oníwóró ṣọwọ́ sílẹ̀ òkèèrè ilẹ̀ Syria àti Ukraine láṣáájú ilẹ̀ Russia yóò pẹ̀kẹ́lù ní Tehran. Ààrẹ ilẹ̀ Russia ló má dínkù bá ìrìn àjò rẹ̀ sílẹ̀ òkèèrè látìgbà tógun ti bẹ́ sílẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Ukraine. Lóṣù tó kọjá lọ́gbẹ́ni Putin ṣe àbẹ̀wò sí Tajikistan àti Turkmenistan tí wọ́n jẹ́ ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ àjọ USSR nígbà kan rí. Iléeṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì yóò kojú ooru gbígbóná pẹ̀lú bí oòrùn yóò ṣe mú lámúdàbọ̀ nílẹ̀ náà lónìí. Ooru tó mú ní Suffolk gbóná jaja ṣùgbọ́n kò tó èyí tó mú nílẹ̀ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì lọ́dún 2019. Ọwọ́jà ooru ọ̀hún tó dé Wales. Ọ́fíìsì àjọ tó ń mójútó bójú ọjọ́ ṣe rí ti ṣèkìlọ̀ pé káwọn èèyàn náà retí ooru tó gbóná lápá àríwá àárín gbùngbùn àti ìlà oòrùn gúúsù ilẹ̀ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì. Ṣùgbọ́n àkọsílẹ̀ fi hàn pé ó ṣeéṣe kó ooru náà kó ti wá sílẹ̀ lálẹ́ àná. Bí ó ṣe máa ní ìròyìn ọjọ́ kan rí wa fún ti ọ̀sán eré Kamil Abdulrahim lólótú, Kẹ́hìndé Ajíbádé lóníròyìn yín. Aago 3 kọjá ìṣẹ́jú 15 láàmú ròyìn ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀ṣun wá fún yín. Títí ìgbà náà, ire o.